I love this question because for all those years in prison, I, just like everybody else, was looking to escape. And not escape physically, but escape mentally. So I would read books and I would watch TV and I would daydream and I was always looking for a way to get out of where I was. So when I came across the idea of lucid dreaming, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like I can go into a dream and do what I want to do and like go on dates and have adventures. Like it felt like freedom. So I said, all right, let me try to do this. And I had an old girlfriend who was really into it. So we started talking about it and she was like, hey, maybe if we like get good enough, we can meet each other at the astral plane. And I mean, looking back, that sounds ridiculous, but I was a kid and I was like, what do I have to lose? You know, I'm sitting in prison. So because she was so into it, she had a technique, and she said, every time you look at your hand, ask yourself if you're awake, and try to do this 100 times a day. So I got to the point where like I would look down at my hand, and I would be like, oh, okay, I'm awake. Okay, I'm awake. And I remember the first night that I was dreaming, and I looked down, and I was like, oh, wow, I'm not awake. Like, oh, and I looked around, and I don't remember what happened in the dream, but I remember very clearly realizing that I was dreaming and thinking I could manipulate things and trying to figure out how to meet her because I wanted to go on a date. I mean, I was lonely. I was sitting in prison by myself. And I was trying to figure out if I could fly and trying to figure out all these other things. And I remember being so frustrated because even though I knew I was in a dream, I couldn't control anything. I couldn't make it happen the way I wanted to do. So it was just like, okay, I know I'm in a dream, but I'm still having a dream. Like I'm not actually directing it in any way. And I know some people got a lot better at it or some people like turned it into a whole thing or a therapy. But that was my experience with lucid dreaming. And I was by far not the only one because there were a lot of people who would check out books or would talk about it or even come together in groups to talk about techniques they were doing. Because again, everybody was trying to find a way, at least mentally, to get out of that place.